All right, we are live.
Hot damn.
Yep, we're back. So
I even feel live.
That's good. I don't know if you saw in my email, this whole Google Plus Hangout thing is coming to an end in April. They're scrapping it.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, April 25th. So we may have to do a couple more each month up until then. The technology is changing slightly. They're getting rid of this for whatever reason, man. I can't believe it. I mean, it can't cost Google anything to keep this going. It's just part of their whole system. But yeah, there's other ways you can stream, and I think they're trying to push people towards more, I guess, technology unfriendly ways of streaming. So you need stuff to do things, and people, you'll need some sort of more professional system. But anyway, yeah. So as of April 25th, the Google Plus Live Hangouts on YouTube are no longer, which is a sad state of affairs.
Well, dude, that sucks.
Yeah, totally. I really enjoy doing this, and like, I know other folks enjoy watching it as well. So the only other way I can do it now is if I use either a separate type of tool that I can then stream from a second computer from a house. So I'll work it out. I like the challenge of trying to work this out. I don't want to use Skype. Skype's like really unreliable compared to Google Plus Hangouts. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's okay. Skype's okay if it's one-on-one, but if you're doing it like what we're doing now with Skype, it's always glitchy. Nearly every other YouTube channel I watch that uses Skype is super glitchy. So it totally sucks. But we've got 20 people here already. So welcome, folks. 22 people. We're joined by Steve in New Jersey in the States. And yeah, we're just talking about this whole Google Plus plugin thing is coming to an end in April. That's what YouTube decided was a good idea. So let me load up the chat here. I just realized I'm on the wrong page. I'll see who's saying hi.
Story of my life on the wrong page.
We've got Addicted to Gear. How are you, man? We've got D, Danny McNally Music, Bernardo Silva, Todd Flowers, and SJAYD. You're going to have to let me know how to pronounce that. Like, type that phonetically so I don't butcher it. Sajad, maybe. That sounds like I knew what I was talking about, but no.
Well, I thought you knew what you were talking about.
So I think it's a girl. My eyesight sucks. It says, what's a good source for lefty guitars? Go to jerry'sleftyguitars.com. He's an awesome guy. I've been to his store. Lovely dude. And yeah, he's always got great lefties. And they're different. They're not just Fender Mexican standard tallies and strats. He's got lots of stuff. So another shop I haven't been to is in Houston, Texas, or Dallas. Is it Dallas? It's what's the lefty shop there? It's Southpaw Guitars. So yeah. All right. So Addicted to Gear says, "How's that little Bugera amp behind me here? It's going well, man. It always sounds good." I like it. It's like the perfect dirty blues tone. Don't know if that's coming over the mic okay, but
comes over dirty.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I got it on the in-between watt setting, which is like 1 watt or something like that. So you just turn it up to 10 and it sounds pretty wild.
It sounds pushed.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I got the volume. Oh, actually, the volume's not up that loud. I got it on 6, and the gain's on 6 as well. So yeah, I love it. It's a great little home practice amp for when I don't want to be too loud. We've got who else we got here? We've got Francis. We've got Josh from Alaska. How are you, man? Always wanted to go to Alaska.
Whoa.
Alaska's on my list of things to do. Alaska and New York. All those times I've been to the States and Canada and that, I've never been to either. So even though Alaska's not part of Canada, I know that. I'm just saying, like, it's close. It used to be part of Canada, I think.
Well, I'm only about 65 or so miles from New York, so if you ever get over to New York, we'll definitely hook up, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That'd be awesome. That'd be fun. I'd definitely like to hang out and check out the city there. It'd be super cool. All right, so what's new in your world, Steve? And then we'll take some questions here. I've got some already. So,
Well, I'm glad you asked because I have a thing to add to our gas conversations.
oh, here we go. Ha ha, humbucker Strat, huh?
It's a deluxe
Yeah, wow.
HSS
Yeah,
maple neck S1
beautiful.
switch tobacco burst color.
Yeah, it looks good.
And as you know, I name all my guitars, and because it's tobacco burst, its name is Smokey.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, very cool, man. So that's an American deluxe guitar, is it?
Actually, it's a Mexican.
Oh wow, far out! It looks beautiful, man.
It's a Mex. Oh yeah, no, it's got the paint on it is beautiful.
Yeah,
And I'm not exactly sure what the humbucker is. I don't think it's a Shawbucker.
yeah, okay.
But one of the ones that I don't know, Fender's been sticking in. They're not, top of the line guitars, and it's. I can split the coils with the S1 switch on it.
Yeah, awesome.
So when I want it just to sound singles, I can just activate the switch, and when I want it to sound humbuckery, I just take the switch off, and it's got a little more power to it.
Yeah, cool, man.
I'm still looking at trying to figure out how it works up with the pedals. And I have another contribution.
Hang on, before you put the guitar down, just show us the back again, because it looks like it's got a contoured neck pocket. Yeah, it does. Okay,
It does. It's
very nice.
It's a nice little combination of stuff that's a little bit newer, like the little pocket here.
Yeah.
So you can get your hand in there for high notes.
Yeah, very cool.
Contoured body. Got the skunk stripe, which to me is that's just so typically Fender, that skunk stripe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All that, well, mine's got the same thing. It's they've all got that pretty much.
Yeah.
But
they do make some that don't have skunk stripes on them. When I see Fenders without a skunk stripe,
wow.
I wonder if I'm looking at a phony or something. But
yeah. Well, you know what? I don't think I've ever noticed any Fender guitar without one. So that's interesting.
Yeah, if
my powers of observation aren't very good then.
I'm not sure. I don't think they put them on their basses. I don't think the bass guitars have skunk stripes.
Yeah, you might be right. I'm not too sure.
So anyhow,
cool.
Meet Smokey.
Very nice.
The other thing I picked up was drum roll.
Yeah.
Another pedal.
Yeah. Okay. What'd you get?
I'm up to 4.
Oh, wow. It's a 9 pedal minimum to be on the stream. You do know that.
Oh God,
so,
no, I didn't know that. Well, yeah, that was my 9th pedal then.
Yeah. All
good. It was an MXR chorus.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yep.
It's analog, and I found it secondhand for like a pretty like $20 or $25 cheaper than its regular price. So I was like, you know what? I've got a guy I've dealt with regularly down at Guitar Center, so he keeps an eye open for stuff for me. He said, if you're looking for a chorus pedal, we just got one in use. I'm like, oh, I'll be down. It was like brand new. I gotta wonder if it didn't get much use, or the guy just used a lot of TLC when he used it because it wasn't kicked or scuffed or anything.
Yeah. You'll be able to play Badge from Cream or Eric Clapton or whoever wrote it. That.
Oh yeah.
Badge.
Oh yeah.
That's the chorus song. Cool. Very nice, man. Good stuff. I haven't actually been I don't think I've really got anything new in terms of gear. I did sell some stuff. I sold my old top Les Paul, which surprised everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you loved that thing.
I did. I loved the look of it. I love the sound of it. I just don't seem to play that guitar anywhere near as well as I play my others. And it was a really eye-opening thing to find that out about a year or 2 years later. I think I've gone through this weird phase of trying to find a different sound for whatever reason. Like maybe subconsciously I was looking to try to do something different with my playing or do something different with my sound. And in the end, like I'm back with this. This is still my number one. I reckon I've got 3 main guitars. This, my Strat, and my Little Crow. It's funny, I play so much better on a Tele and a Strat than I do on my Les Pauls. I play differently on my Les Pauls, which I don't like that. It makes me, I guess it makes me play, I'm thinking about it too much, or it's got too many controls. I love the look of them. I love the sound of them. Like, it was easily the best guitar that I owned, that Les Paul, but just, I guess, wasn't for me in the end. It was a sad day to realize that. And when it sold, I didn't feel one way or the other about it. I just thought, cool. Like, yeah. So, yeah, it'd be a lot harder for me to sell this. Let's just put it that way.
Just from my own very short time that I had that Les Paul Faded. Yeah. It had a completely different feel to it. I mean, it was a guitar, so I mean, it didn't feel like, like an alligator or anything, it had, all the common features, but there was just something when you put your left hand, or for you, your right hand on the neck, the hand reports back to the brain, and it sends favorable messages, or, the jury is still out messages, whatever. And even though I didn't have it quite that long before I just got totally frustrated with it, it did feel different to play than the Fenders. And I'm not sure that I liked it, retrospectively looking back at it. I'm not sure that I really liked it as much. Didn't feel as naturally comfortable as the Fenders do.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it as well. Like I said, it's a beautiful guitar to look at, and it played for a Les Paul. It played exceptionally well. My Tokai plays really well as well. Yeah, and I'm keeping that one. That's still in my cupboard. But $4,000 tied up in a guitar that I don't play was a lot of money, and I got to get some dental stuff done today and tomorrow. So it was like, you know what? I reckon I could live without that guitar for now. And I guess it came down to the playing side of it. For me when I turn this guitar down, I can play rhythm guitar and it sounds great, even if I'm strumming. I find with Les Pauls, sometimes when you turn them down, it's not the same. I don't get the same sense of clarity out of the rhythmic tones of them as well. So it was not only I love playing lead guitar on them, but rhythmically they weren't me. I really think I've just come back to, the simple stuff now: Strat, Tele, Little Crow. Yeah. And I'll use my 335 and my other Les Paul from time to time, but yeah, it's one of those things.
Well, I think you put your finger on it. When you want to play rhythm, you've got to reduce you're now the rhythm guy. You got to take a little bit of a step back. You're the support guy, not the lead guy. And to bring your volume down a little bit, when you do that, from the little bit of time I had it looked like when you do that to your Les Paul, the bottom starts dropping out of it.
Yeah, and it just gets muffled as well. I reckon like it top end goes as well.
But you do that to a Fender, which is, bright and chimey to begin with. They still chime a little bit. They're still, cutting through enough where, you don't get left behind. Like, people can see you playing, but they can't hear what you're playing. But you're not, blasting, everybody else out on the rest of the band. So, you become a band member instead of the lead person. And it just seems to work better with a Fender than a Les Paul. But then again, I guess if you're going to step out front, Les Paul might be a little bit better for that, especially if you like, humbuckers.
Yeah, you're right. And one other thing I should point out for those who aren't left-handed guitar players, they have no idea about this, but if you're playing a left-handed Tele, to turn it up, you turn the pot forward. On a Les Paul, it goes backwards. So if you're swapping between guitars, that's caught me out so many times where I think I've turned up everything on my guitar. I end up turning down my tone control, my volume off. So that's one thing that too many guitars and too many things to remember. I like the simplicity of this, one volume control. I could live without a tone control. If a Telecaster had no tone control, I wouldn't think one way or the other about it. I'll just take a question here. We got Bernardo Silva says, "Hey Shane, did you ever I think he means talk about DIY pedals?" So I've actually built a few DIY pedals. One of my overdrive pedals is on my desk right here. Actually, that's a good. That was a fluke, but that's what I built. So I sprayed the case, the enclosure, with some like metallic glitter spray paint. It's chipped a bit now, but yeah, so this is called the Night Drive. I got it from DIY Guitar Pedals in Australia. And Paul actually has, the guy that owns the shop has a YouTube channel called Chromosphere.com, I think it's called. And yeah, so this is a basic overdrive pedal. I've built two. Another one that I built was a clean boost with an overdrive. So it was like one big control on the front and a toggle switch for either clean, boost, or slight dirt. This, funny, this comes up in the chat here. I'm going to put this against a lot of the high-end pedals that I've got, because Rick and I plugged this in just for something to do the other week, and it sounds unbelievable. So to put it in context, the parts for this cost me, like the electronic components cost me about $12. The case was about $8. These controls, the pots, the plastic parts I bought in bulk, I got a whole lot of them left. Probably, say for this particular pedal, $3, $4. So all up under $30, including the spray paint. And although there's a lot of time that goes into this, I had to learn a lot to get this to work. Now that I understand how it works, it's really cool. I'm not going to say that there's all pedals that are out there as easy to make as this. This is sold with the intention that it's easy to make. So for beginners, it's really cool. This isn't the easiest one. This is like the second easiest one that they make. And yeah, basically it sounds fantastic. So I'm going to do a demo of this against like the Maxon, the Klon, and all that, because it really sounds good. So if you're into some sort of electronics, or if you're into computers, or you've got a natural instinct to want to put things together, all that kind of stuff, learn how to do it. It's good fun. You do need to buy some tools. So once you get some of those tools, like if you're buying the enclosures, you'll need, a drill, you'll need a clamp to hold it down, unless you've already got one of those drills that comes down on the press. You'll need a soldering iron or soldering iron for this.
Everybody knows what soldering is. Soldering.
Yeah.
Tomato.
I'm going to ask you: is soldering, like soldering? Does it not have an L in the American dictionary?
It does, but
okay.
You know how between different colloquialisms and regions of speech, certain things just sort of like disappear or get accented, or and I didn't realize that the word had an L in it until I saw it spelled, because I always heard it referred to as solder, as if it was SODDER.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Yeah.
And I would think that the proper way to say it is as you say it, with pronounce the L, but
because there's one other word that comes to mind, like aluminium and aluminum.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, but they're actually spelt differently in Australia or England and in the US. So there is one extra L that we have that you guys don't. I never knew that. I just thought we were pronouncing that completely different for whatever reason. But yeah, that's interesting. So
there are words that are used, by the folks in England, like color, COLOUR. We don't use the U here in the States. It's just COLOUR.
Yeah.
It's just one of those regional things. Everybody knows what everybody else is talking about. So if we all say it a little bit differently, who cares?
One thing in the American dictionary, or English American dictionary, that I like is the use of their Z's or Z's instead of S's, because that drives me nuts. Every time I see a word like laser or realize, it sounds like a Z. It's not real with a, we put S's in there and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I give the US props for fixing that. So Arnold Knorr says, I own a Bugera V22 and it's insane for the price. They're good amps. I played one once when I was in San Francisco doing some gigs over there, and it was cool. No pedals. It actually did sound pretty good. So Addicted to Gear asks you, Steve, how much is your guitar, if you don't mind sharing? If you
the one I was just showing?
Yeah.
It was
in US prices, folks.
$899 US.
Cool. I can't wait to hear that humbucker, mate. That would be that'd be interesting. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like the idea of that.
my amplifier and stuff is downstairs, so I really don't have any way even just to give you an earful of it up here. But plus, my son is sleeping in the room right next to me, so
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't want to have to scrape him off the ceiling, you know.
No, all good, mate. All good. So we've got. What other questions we got here? Supersonic says, I know you're very busy with INTHEBLUES, but have you considered posting lessons? I'd love to learn some of your killer blues licks. I have considered it. The thing is, there's so many people doing really good guitar lessons, and trying to explain things coherently and concisely can be awkward. I think if I'm going to do something like that, the plan, oh, sorry, Steve, I've got the camera on you, mate. I think the idea that I had was to put together like an hour lesson at some point and just go through like 20 or 30 blues licks or something like that. And maybe some chords and some concepts and just see how that goes rather than like small individual lessons. That's something that I still plan on doing. If I get a week where I'm not filming something and I have to move my cameras around, I'll do it. The one thing I want to do if I do a video like that and it's long, it's going to take me a week at least to get it all done. Just the filming, like not even if I tab it and all that kind of stuff. So that's one thing that I'd like to do, but I want to do it properly, and I want to make sure that the cameras aren't on different angles in different shots. I want it to look good and sort of consistent the whole way through. So it's still a possibility. I don't get a lot of fulfillment out of doing like lick lesson videos. Just it's not something that is fun for me to do, and it's not that like I don't want to show people licks. Like that's fine. It's just when I sit there and I'm trying to say, all right, so you know, 5th fret on the G string, I'll end up butchering it or saying it wrong, and that's what concerns me the most. So I really need to do it when I have time and I'm not rushed. So I make sure I say things correctly and someone can sort of like maybe proof it and make sure that it works.
From some of the things I've seen people do on those too, the cameras, the number of cameras and the angles are critical, because I've seen some people sitting, they're sitting way back, like with the panorama view, and they're showing stuff, you know, and the camera just isn't close enough. So they'll say, well, let me bring that into the camera, and then they're bringing it up to the camera, but they've got it all like off a shot and stuff like that. And you're like, I have no idea what he's trying to show me.
No, that's the thing. And being a left-handed too, I put a poll up on Facebook about a year ago, asking people whether or not they'd prefer, if I shot videos, whether they'd want to see a left-hander playing this way or whether I actually flipped the image. And it was 50-50. Like it was really weird to have a lot of right-handers say, I'd rather look at a left-hander because it's like a mirror image, and I'd rather watch a right-hander play because for me that's easier to relate. If I'm watching a lefty, I can't work it out just because I've spent so many years watching right-handed players, and I thought it would be the same for right-handers. But that's an interesting sort of point. If you're in the chat right now, let me know if you prefer watching right-handed players or lefties in terms of lesson videos. Also, if you are in this, oh, sorry, Steve, go ahead.
I was just going to say something that does strike me, you know, just as you mentioned that. If I'm watching you play, you know, and then when I look down at my fingers, there's a juxtaposition there. You know, actually, when I look down at my left hand, it looks just like when I'm looking at you playing in my mirror image. So actually, I don't, personally for myself, I wouldn't see that as a problem at all. You know, watching you do something and then trying to imitate it, because when I look at your hand and then look at my hand, it looks about the same.
Yeah, I guess the other thing I could do too is just do one full video as a lefty and just mirror the playing parts for a second video. I guess that might work too. But yeah, you're right. I prefer that mirrored sort of look. I was going to say, folks, if you are in the chat right now, you're watching the stream, please give the video a thumbs up if you can. I appreciate that. We try to do this as often as possible, and unfortunately, they're coming to an end right now. In April will be the last streams. Google is pulling the live stream feature, or at least not the full live stream feature, this Google Plus Hangout thing. So I appreciate that, folks. If you enjoy them, then please give them the thumbs up. Thanks, guys. All right, let me get to some questions. I'm like half the way down the live chat at the moment. I'm a little behind, but I'll get to everybody. So Paul says, I didn't know that the Mexican Strats has that heel. Either did I. So yeah, where the back of that neck joint is, man, that's super cool.
I hadn't noticed that before, but you know what? I think this is also a new offering.
Yeah.
You know, or a newer offering.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it looks like $1 million. It looks really good.
And I misspoke on the price, Shane. It was $7.99 US.
Okay, cool. No worries. Did you trade a guitar in or anything, or did you
actually, I did wind up. No, I still have the red one.
Oh, cool.
I traded in my Mustang amplifier.
Cool.
You know, and just cut the price down a little bit on it that way. You know, you know, I thought $7.99 was not a bad price for the guitar, and I got a chance to play it in GC, and it was, you know, you pick up a guitar and you know when it's a keeper.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And you know when you're going to put it back on the rack.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened
it just said, take me home. So,
yeah. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Awesome. All right. So we've got Let's Rock It Right. I think that's how you pronounce it. From Idaho. Welcome, man. We got Franciscus from, I'm not too sure where he's from, but it says it's 6:05 a.m. in the morning. He's getting ready for college.
Wow.
Yeah, that's early as. So Bernardo asks, have I had a chance to test the new Boss Katana amps? I haven't personally played one, but a mate of mine has one, and he takes it to the jam every now and then that we go to on a Sunday. I got mixed results with it. Sometimes it sounds really, really cool, and other times it sounds really, really spiky on the high end. It's because he's unfamiliar with the amp. I think he's starting to dial it in now. They're kind of like a solid state amp with some effects modeling built in. It does like they work pretty well. Actually, let's just get rid of this. Hang on, one sec. Get that sore shoulder.
Don't strangle yourself.
Yeah. So in terms of those Katana amps, I haven't had a chance to demo one. I want to at some point and just go through it and see if I can pull out some really good sounds. I think they're really good value. That's one thing that they are. They're inexpensive here in Australia. They're light, which makes them pretty good, and they're very, very loud. So, yeah, I haven't had a chance to tweak them yet, but I'm sure you could get some decent sounds out of them. And I've heard it sound good. I wouldn't say it was like life-changing, but they definitely do sound good if you dial them in correctly with the right effects. So they got like a few overdrive, boss overdrive effects in there, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're not bad. All right.
I saw somebody saying that they thought that they were basically just rebadged Roland amplifiers.
I mean, yeah, they're the same. It's the same company, Roland.
Yeah.
Boss is it is the same company, but I don't know if they'd already released them under a different name. I have no idea about that. They look, at least they look new anyway. They could be partly old technology to some extent, but
it was just a rogue comment I saw somewhere on YouTube. I have no knowledge of it myself.
But they're very, very different to the Blues Cubes, like two completely different amps. One is very, very straightforward. The other one you got to learn how to use. So the Blues Cube you can plug in and you're good to go. The other one's going to take some, you've got all these different types of voicings and settings, and then you've got all these effects you can add in and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. Let's go down the comments here. All right, so Addicted to Gear says, get a G&L ASAT Deluxe and you'll be very happy. I already had one of those. I didn't like the scale of the neck. It felt like when I was playing E, which would be here, I was actually on the 3rd fret, so it felt like I had to stretch out to like here to play it. Great tone. They look beautiful, just wasn't for me. That 52 tally's been my go-to for years now. I'm yet to top that guitar. I went to play. Well, I didn't went to play. Rick went to play some amps recently, and I went with him, and they had 3 custom shop left-handed Telecasters, like top of the line, $4,300. Australia. Oh, that's in Australia. I don't know what custom shop costs in the States. I haven't really looked, but they were top of the line. Rick's a doctor, so he's like, get one, man. Blah blah. Sell you whatever you can and get one. He says, sounds great. I'm like, I don't think it sounds any better than mine. So when I got home, I mean, it was a Relic as well, so it was black and it had half the paint missing, and it looked a little bit emo for me. I don't know, but there's something about that feels like I didn't want to spend huge. I'd never spend $4,000 on a Telecaster. Let's just put that out there. But to spend $4,000 on a guitar that's been like beat up and made to look old, it made me feel like a bit of a tryhard wanting to go buy it. And Rick loves those things, and good on him. Like, they suit his style and all that. But I just couldn't do it, man. Like, this guitar has been played and used, and it's got marks and paint, like where the varnish is on it. It looks, there's stuff I can't get out of this now. It's not Relic in terms of the paint's completely come off, but this is stuff that's under the finish. This is stuff that I've done to it through actual use, like where my arm and palm sits here. That doesn't come out. Like, you can scrub that, but it's like worn into the finish. I kind of like that. I don't want to buy. I couldn't justify buying a guitar that's beat up. Like, I don't know, man. It's just not for me. Maybe some light relicing, but not this. This was like obliterated, completely obliterated.
I remember the video you did on that a little while back. Would you buy a Relic guitar? And I think we were on like mind on that one, because you were saying something like, would you buy a brand new car yet pay $1,000 more for it because the paint was chipped and had a dent? Yeah. I was like, well, no. I want my new car to look like my new car. I feel the same thing about guitars. If they're new, I want them to look new. I don't want them to look like somebody dragged it out from underneath the bus and then sold it to me for $3,000 more.
Yeah, this is going to be, hopefully this focuses, but
okay.
So it was for those who follow Instagram, you'll know I've posted photos and a video on this, but you'll see, like, it's really beat up, but the back is even worse. Like, the back was, here we go. That's what the back looked like.
Ouch.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't get into it. Like, it sounded nice and it played really well. But then, I got home and I plugged mine in and I just went like, no, I'm done. Like, that's secure. Go back to your favorite guitar and compare it. And then if it sounds just as good or better than, or you prefer it, then you don't need a new one. That's the theory. So Paul brings up an interesting point here. He says his Tokai Les Paul feels more like a Gibson than my Gibson Les Paul does. Well, there you go. That's what I've been saying for a long time. My custom shop gold top I recently sold, my Tokai Les Paul or Love Rock plays exactly the same. If someone handed me them with a blindfold on, or if I had a blindfold on and they handed me one of those guitars, I couldn't tell which one was which. Maybe only by the smell, but taking that out of context, then I wouldn't be able to tell.
Those Gibsons do have their own smell.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they smell amazing. I'm not sure if they lace it with some sort of like addictive drug or what, but you open those cases, it's like, oh.
The Gibson smell, yeah.
Yeah.
It's unique. It's not unpleasant. It's not particularly pleasing either. But when I first got the one that I had, I'm like, yeah, this thing really smells different. Yeah, that's the only word I can say is different.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, there's something about, I don't know if it's the finish on some of them or whether it's the case they're in or what, but yeah, there's something that smells. When I used to open that case up, man, it was fantastic.
It's got to be the finish.
All right, so Sander says, I took my old Bugera V5 out of the closet last week and it looks really cute on top of a big 212 combo. I modded it with a bright switch and oh yeah, he asks, is the new version dark as well? It is. It feels like the tone control needs to go a little bit higher on it. It's okay with my Strat and my Tally. When I play humbuckers, it definitely feels like you need a little bit more tone on the control. I mentioned that in my video too. Well, on the demo I did, I said it could use a little bit more high end. So if you've put a bright switch in there, that's awesome. You should share a video on that. We've got someone NHJHN. Is that a palindrome or whatever they call it? It's the same forwards and backwards. I think it is. Just saw the Mod Duo video. How does the amp modeling compare to the Atomic Amplifier or Axe effects? Anything else you want to say about it? The great thing about that Mod Duo is everything's open source. So basically other people are contributing to it. They reference actual analog or the pedals that they reference, whether it's a digital pedal or whatever. The folks that make those things are actually making something very unique. When I did that video, their PR person didn't give me the heads up that they should have. I actually spoke to the owner of the company, and they were saying this person totally forgot to mention it does this, 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 and this. And once I found that out, I was like, wow, there's so much more to this than I realized. For those who haven't seen the, I moved it. For those who haven't seen the Mod Duo pedal, check it out. It's basically like you can assemble a pedal board within this space via your computer, but it references all analog, and digital effects that just, and it stacks really well together. It's got its own CPU. It sounds kind of high tech, but it looks like a really sturdy unit. Anyway, it does something different than a lot of these other pedals do. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I can add to it other than my only thoughts were, and I didn't know this until after I finished the demo, that I didn't know the actual full capability of these things. So I might do a follow-up video at some point and just go through the things I missed, because yeah, why not? All right, so Levy asks, what's your thoughts on putting a coil tap in a 335? Been thinking about having it done. I don't know, I've never really thought about it, but I guess making mention of it, it may actually be a good thing. It's worth a shot. If you don't like the split coil thing, you can always just click it back down and use it as a humbucker. Ben says, have you ever considered making a drive pedal specific for acoustics guitars to specialize in getting rid of feedback frequencies? I'm pretty sure that stuff already exists. Or at least it does on mixers. There's like feedback busters and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, I haven't thought about that, but it might be worth bringing that up to someone. Maybe they could put some sort of circuitry wizardry in there with an extra EQ or a preamp or something like that. All right, let me catch up with the chat here. What I might do is just scroll down a bit, folks. If I've missed your questions, feel free to ask them again. It's really hard to keep track of all the questions and comments here, so feel free to ask them again. All right, so Bernardo Silva says, did you ever think about private Skype lessons? I did. I posted a video on that maybe 3 months ago, possibly. I've done a few of them. I'll send a link. You can check it out. It was going to be via Google+, and it is. I've done a few of them via Google+, but unfortunately, Google+'s Hangout thing isn't going to be working. So I'll paste that link in. You can check out that video if you want. All right. So off-topic kind of question here. Dan asks, or he says, am I still using a Mac? I noticed you got a new computer monitor. Did you swap back to a PC? I've never been a total Mac user. I use Mac for my videos, and that's about it. The editing flow is so much better. I'm on my PC here. I did get a new screen. This particular one's, I had the same computer monitors for about 8 or 9 years, or 7 or 8 years, something like that. And when I sold my gold top, the one thing I wanted to do was upgrade my monitor. So that's what I've done. The rest is going into my teeth. So I am using this behemoth. So it's 28 inch 4K display. Last year I upgraded my computer that I'm on right now, but I still had my old monitors and they had dead pixels, and one of the monitors was really buzzy, like it was making this electric noise, which isn't good. So yeah, they were small, but I had two of them and it was fine. It worked fine. But since I've used the Mac, I really like just having one screen that is big enough to do everything. And having the 4K resolution means I've got 4 times the amount of space to do what I did. And it's actually twice as large as having 2 monitors that were half the size of this. So it's awesome. I can multitask extremely well. Everything looks clear and it's future-proof for, well, it'll be the monitor that I have for 10 years unless it breaks. So I'm more of a PC guy in terms of everything I do in terms of audio. I play games from time to time on my computer here, my PC. But my Mac, I really enjoy when I'm doing my video. Like video editing on the Mac is so much better than it is on a PC. Don't care what anyone says. I've done 8 years of editing on a PC. The Mac destroys it. And it just depends on what mood I'm in. If I'm doing these streams, I'll either be in here with this setup, or I'll use the Mac. The Mac's still great for doing the streams. So, all right. All right. So Joshua asks, either of you guys in bands? I've been playing in my own band for many years. So yeah, I'll type it in. You can check out my website. It's just shanesband.com. Also Shane DiOrio Band on Facebook as well. I know, Steve, you've done some live playing over the years from what I think we've spoken about.
Yeah, years ago when I was younger, spent basically just about every weekend and 2 or 3 days a week either playing or practicing or deafening myself in one form or another,
Yeah.
But then, as I got older, life takes you in different directions, and it took me away from it.
Yeah.
And it's just been the last couple of years since I retired that I've actually had time to go back and, come back to it and just remember the fun that I had. I even didn't mind practicing. I just liked it. The best part was playing out in front of people, though. That was just positively cool.
Yeah,
if you're playing something that they like, they're either snapping their fingers or dancing or something, you're doing right when you're getting that kind of reaction out of it. And that I enjoyed that part of it immensely. I did miss it over the years that, I was off doing other stuff, but yeah, I've joked and said I have my own one-man band here. I do 7 shows a week. I appear daily in my family room.
Yeah, cool. I play, I guess, once to twice a month with the band. At the most, I don't look for gigs every weekend. I don't want to do a gig every Saturday night. I really don't. I love playing music. I really enjoy it, but I don't want to be doing it all the time. I think there's a healthy balance between doing other stuff and playing music. And the more that I'm exercising again now and doing other things, I really enjoy it even more, coming back to the guitar. And being in the fact that I'm always doing videos and all that kind of stuff too, I guess I'm in a position where from time to time getting away from it is also healthy. But yeah, I'll play a live gig anytime, but I won't do it every weekend. I've done that before. I played in a 3-piece band for years playing. I think I clocked up like 50 or 60 gigs one year. And which doesn't sound like that many, but for me, that was a lot. I guess that's more than one a week. And the scene's not like that here anymore unless you're really pushing a cover band or whatever. I just don't know how a lot of musicians make ends meet and also sort of meet their own personal goal. I prefer to play my own music or play blues or something that I can improvise. A lot of guys just want to play cover band stuff, and if that's what they're into, that's fine. But I don't know how that is fun long term for working musicians. Unless you're playing with top class musos or really good friends or whatever, then that's fine. That works. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, I just tend, for the music that I play, yeah, I wouldn't get work every weekend anyway, so I don't look for it. It won't happen.
I know exactly what you're saying. The upside of playing in cover bands is that when you start a song up, people recognize the song and they already know that they like it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's it.
You're playing one of their favorite songs, they're going to get up and jump around, and dance or, sing with you or whatever, When you do your own stuff, people have to sit and watch and listen, and they tend to be much more calm. They don't move around quite so much, and by the time you're finished, they've decided that they like it, and they'll clap or, whatever. But yeah, it's a different vibe altogether, playing something that they don't know that they might like, or something that they know and know that they like, and they're predisposed to have a good time as soon as you start the song.
Yeah, that's it. And the big difference is in Australia, we're a lot more reserved as well. So it's even more so like that now. Like I know when a lot of big acts they play our arenas here, they basically tell the bands, look, the audience won't be what you expect. They'll be really enjoying it, but they won't be anywhere near as rowdy as the rest of the world. So they'll clap and they'll be having a great time, but they're not like, I think Americans are maybe less inhibited when it comes to having a good time. They don't really give a crap what people think, and they have a good time because other people are having a good time and they're making it very obvious. And this comes from experience in both places for many years. So, there's something to be said for American audiences. They got a great vibe. They're looking to have a good time, irrespective almost of what's going on. But you're right. If they're playing a song they know, then like break out April Sun in Cuba or whatever, and it's on. Yeah. We got Rex Norris. Sorry, from Rocky Mount, Virginia. Welcome, man. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
If you're playing down south, you're going to get a lot more response out of the crowd.
Yeah.
The folks down there are a little, I don't know, a little closer to the earth. I'm not exactly how to quite put it, But I spent time down south. I've been in the service with Southerners. I love the people from the South. I love the South itself, and but they are a little more, I don't know, animated somehow or other.
I agree with you.
Original colonies, so in the States, like up in New England and stuff, like the people can be rather staid, and take a very long time to decide whether they like you or not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're probably right about that, actually. Yeah, there's something about the South and the vibe down there. People do they get into it. They have a good time. All right, so David Taylor says, hi, Shane, have you tried any Egnator amplifiers? I'm currently playing a 30-watt one. It's truly amazing. I have played one. I owned an Egnator for about 3 days. The reason I returned it was because the cabinets were faulty, and the head was amazing. Like, if at the time I didn't have another speaker box, so I took it back. The Egnator Rebel 30 head is awesome. I would love to try that in a really good amplifier speaker combo, like a speaker cabinet, I should say. That through it like a 212 or a single 12 speaker that I like, and that has an open back and kind of like my Fender amps, all that kind of stuff. I think it would sound awesome. I didn't like the speaker cabinet it came with. It was this little small box with a closed back, and it would rattle. The handle broke within the first 48 hours. So yeah, I just took it back and got a refund. I ended up buying the deluxe reverb, and I stuck with that. But they do make some good stuff. A friend of mine has their 212. I don't know if it's a higher wattage amp or what, but I can't remember. It's a 212 Egnator combo, and it's kind of looks like a twin in terms of its size. And it sounds pretty cool. If you're a rock and roll player, definitely has the sound. Man, I'm so far up the chat right now. I'm just going to scroll down a bit here. So, hey, we've got Wayne Whiteside. Welcome, Wayne. How are you, man?
Hey, Wayne.
Haven't seen him on the stream for a while. I don't know if he's actually on my email list or he's on my Skype list. I lose track of all this stuff. I'll load up Skype. I'll see if he wants to join.
I'm surprised you didn't join him.
Yeah, I think when I first started doing this, I had a Skype list, and then I realized it's way too hard for me to remember who wants to be on it. So I ported it over to an email list, which works. But now I think I've got some guys on Skype that aren't actually, I don't know. Let's see if he's on. Yeah, Wayne's a dude, man. He's an awesome player. Oh, what's going on? Why is Skype not loading up my list? I've got some weird homepage thing going on. Oh, here we go. All right, Wayne. I'll send him the link. It looks like he's offline at the moment. But Wayne, if you're watching, you want to join, I've just instant messaged you on Skype the hangout link. He's from New York State. All right, so we've got Mario's here from Brazil. Welcome, man.
Whoa.
Yeah, we've got some Brazilians here today. Cool. We've got Lando 27 Music. He says he'd love to join, but it's Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl.
It is Super Bowl Sunday. I think this is probably going to be one of the least watched Super Bowls ever.
Oh, okay. Is it?
It doesn't seem to be a lot. Well, the two teams that are playing are both from the East Coast of the U.S. So in the middle of the country and the West Coast of the country, unless they're really diehard, American football fans, they're going to watch no matter what.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is like I have no interest in either team. They've taken the halftime period, which during the regular NFL season is only about 15 minutes. And they've turned it into like this Hollywood production, which is just grates on my nerves. And
yeah, they usually have big bands or something come out, don't they? And they do a set or whatever.
Sometimes they'll have like a college band come out, at some football games. But this thing is, they turned it into, they got Lady Gaga coming up to sing with this.
Oh, yeah.
And she's one of these people you can take or leave,
Yeah.
And,
yeah. That's it.
So when I found out, you were doing this during the Super Bowl, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool.
No, okay, cool. I didn't realize. I wondered if there must have been something going on, because usually we have a few more folks join, and I'm doing it on a different day today too. So I thought maybe the Sunday thing is too hard for folks. But yeah, anyway, now that explains that. Cool.
And the Super Bowl also usually winds up being a blowout.
Yeah. Okay.
And they play 4 15-minute quarters, and usually the game is over by the end of the first quarter, because one team gets out, is just running up and down the field, and the other team like never even gets off the bus. So they tend to be very dull games on top of it.
Yeah, they don't do the 7-game series thing like they do in the basketball, huh?
Or in American baseball, do the World Series. It's the best of 7. First one to win 4 games wins.
Yeah.
This is a 1 game, do or die, and if you come out and you're flat, that's it. You're done.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, good luck to the teams. You're ruining the live stream. No, I'm only kidding. Live stream is always awesome. Someone says, "Go Falcons."
Go Falcons. Here you go.
Here we go. Isaac Ord says, "Idiots at the Fender Customs Shop claims relicking your guitars make it sound better. Go ahead and scrape the crap out of your guitars." Yeah, it makes no difference to your sound. The salesman was trying to say that that makes the wood breathe and all this kind of crap, and I was like, "Yeah, good luck with that." I'm like, dude, I'm not buying into any of that. I'm absolutely not buying into any of that at all.
Just remember that the wood is from a dead tree, so how could it possibly be breathing?
What does that even mean? Like, makes the wood breathe. How does that impact anything? Breathe? Yeah, I really don't understand that at all.
Wouldn't it be funny if you found a guitar that sounded like Darth Vader?
Yeah. It just, when he said that, I looked at him and I just went, "Oh yeah, cool." Like,
yeah.
Like, get me out of here. You're not gonna. Anyone who knows guitars to some extent should know that relicking a guitar, it can't make any physical difference to the way it sounds. Like, the finish makes no difference to the sound. It just doesn't. There might be some sustained things with different types of finishes or whatever, but I highly doubt scraping paint off a guitar is going to make it sound better. That's an awesome point.
So hey, dude, what'd you do to your guitar? It sounds great. I said, yeah, scrape off the paint.
Yeah. Odds are it would have sounded great before any of that. Yeah, that's what these folks don't sort of get. Well, I guess if you can afford a custom shop guitar, you probably, like, I don't know. They're going to sound pretty good to start with. It's all aesthetics, you know. If you like the worn look, then that's fine. I'm not going to hold that against you, but don't expect the wood to breathe more.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
It's a cosmetic effect. That's it.
Yeah. All right. So here's a question. BV Ninja asks, so what was with that Electra electric guitar? Sorry. So there was a guitar I posted on Instagram, and let me get a picture here. Where is it? Yeah. So I posted a headstock picture here. It was this really nice. It had gold hardware. Is this going to work?
Yeah, you can see it.
I'm getting the reflection of my blinds back there, but yeah,
Electra.
it's basically a Les Paul style guitar. A friend of mine sent me a message last night, I think when I was driving, so I didn't actually see it, but he wrote, where is it? Oh yeah, I still haven't opened it properly. He said, the early Electra, that's hard to say. Early Electra guitars are Japanese built, all Japanese parts, but awesome guitars. The newer stuff, at least in the last 10 years, are made in China, but built in the same factory as the Epiphones. So from what I could tell, I had a quick look about these guitars online, and they're made at the Fujigen factory, or they used to be, which is where they make a lot of other really nice Jap stuff. I'll see if I can bring it up here and share some pictures with everybody so you can see what I'm talking about. It's probably easier than doing it this way. So just bear with me one sec. I want to make sure I'm getting the right details. Come on. I took a couple of photos.
It doesn't work until you use the proper swear words.
Yeah. I'm going to watch myself on these things. People don't realize, like, when I'm shooting those demos in between takes that don't work, I'm like, fuck. Everyone says, oh, you should do an outtakes video. I'm like, man, I'll have to just censor it. I don't swear that much, but when I get frustrated, I'm doing something over and over again. I'm like, this is killing me.
Yeah, then it gets to be like, you get to the point where people say, hey, what's what you're saying? We got sailors and truck drivers over here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be, I don't think I need to be swearing on gear demos. I want to try to not be that kind of guy. All right, so here's some pictures. I'll share this with everybody. Check it out. Hopefully this works here. Hey, we got Wayne Whiteside's joining here.
Here he is. I see half of them.
Oh, he just fell off. He'll be back.
I hate when that happens.
All right, so here's a few of the guitars here. Let me zoom in. Let's see if this works. Might get a bit pixelated, but is the zoom function working? Yeah. All right, so there's one there. There's a couple of there. So basically, you can tell the Les Paul copies by the headstock. That's the giveaway. A lot of the time with these guitars, I'll have that. Oh, this one doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe it does. It's hard to see because of the background. They'll have that mustache shape thing that the Gibsons have. And that's how you know generally if they're coming out of a factory that does a lot of Les Paul style guitars. Hey, Wayne, how are you, man?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. How's everyone else?
Doing good.
Yeah, good, thanks. Good. Yeah, I just realized I thought maybe we don't have your email address. And then I thought, oh, we'll have to.
I got the email. That's why I showed up in the chat first.
Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. Cool. Yeah, it's been a while since we chatted, and it looks like the live streams are coming to an end. YouTube are pulling the plug-in out in a few months. So I thought, is
this going to affect all the Google Hangouts?
Yep. They're basically discontinuing it. I'll show folks what I see here, see if this works. Here we go.
I hope you managed to figure something out, Shane, because I would miss our time together.
Yeah, it totally sucks. But basically, it's not going to work. But here it says the YouTube app will no longer work after April 25, 2017. So, yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I have no idea. There's other ways you can stream. There's these like individual apps where you can stream like only to the web that I know of, but there's got to be a way where those apps can do essentially the same thing, but in a way more complicated fashion. So it totally sucks. I just think this will be a huge loss to YouTube.
Yeah, it's streaming on YouTube. I mean, it's the biggest audience. Everyone can find you.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So you'll still be able to do individual streams from these other like apps, but not the Hangout. I think a lot of people are going to complain. I wonder whether or not it's, even if they made it like a $5 monthly subscription to use this service, I probably would just pay it and use it still. I think it's a really handy thing to have. I don't know, like it's free. It's been free for a long time. I don't know if they make any money out of it, but it definitely is. It's a really cool thing. Lets everyone have a chat, and I'll work it out, but it'll be a pain to work out. It'll be like 12 test runs before it actually works.
Well, if you need somebody to just be on the other end, then put me into it.
Cool. All right, will do. Thanks, man. Cheers. Hey, we've got Terry here as well. How are you, mate?
Cheers, Terry.
Hello.
Got a Superman shirt on?
Yeah, and matching pants.
Oh. Do tell.
Yeah, in regards to what you were just talking about the YouTube live stream app, from what I understand, it is being replaced.
Okay.
Because there is the security flaw in it right now, where if you actually, well, again, I don't have to tell you, Shane, as you found out with other people coming in, but if you actually do make a link public to get into it, there is a way that you can come in and even though I probably shouldn't be saying it over the air because then people might try to do it, but
it's right.
The knowledge is out there anyways. Yeah, but the knowledge is out there anyways that if people want to sniff around to do it, can actually do it. You can actually come in and you can actually kick everyone else out of the Hangout.
Wow.
And you can stream whatever the hell you want. There was instances where people were doing that. They'd come in on certain people's Hangouts, they'd kick everyone out, and then they would stream porn.
Oh, man.
And actually get a strike on their account for the stream and showing the porn.
Yeah, wow. We had a couple of guys come in and they were showing like GIF of people getting like beheaded, those beheading videos and all that kind of stuff. So we kicked them out, and then I closed the stream and realized, okay, I can't post this link publicly. So that's when I started the email list. I only took once or twice, and then I was like, there's a huge security flaw here. So yeah, that's no good.
So Terry, they're going to replace it with something else and still have something available. Is that what you're saying?
From what I last remember, because again, I do hang around with a fair amount of people that do these like live hangout / stream type things. That is the word, at least, is that they're replacing it because of that known kind of glitch. Plus, I'm sure there's other things, like I believe the program's like 5+ years old.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, that's old by this technology.
Yeah, so I mean, there's other streaming kind of mechanisms and settings and technology and plugins out there that Google could probably implement into a better experience.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so we're not exactly left out in the cold then.
To the best of my knowledge, no, but they could change their mind about it.
Yeah, and I'm sure they won't consult us first either.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's Google. Ultimately, when you sign the TOS, you're still under their rights. And if they decide that something is a problem, such as even your account, it can be gone.
Yeah, that's it. I noticed also when we had those spam accounts, you can't kick them and keep them gone. So they can just keep coming back in. Yeah, there's definitely some huge flaws with it, but there's also logical ways around it. I haven't had one problem since I started an email list. You know, I think it's better having people on a list that
Who
you know, yeah, as opposed to just posting it in. Because occasionally I've done that, and we've had some awesome folks in on the majority of the time, but we've also had some kind of crazy folks join in as well. So
yeah, the drunk guys from England, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's like, do you want that happening? Like, I'd rather have like a list of folks that I know want
Yeah,
to
like that
contribute.
damn crazy Nick in the States guy.
Oh, there you go, yeah. Guy's clearly got some screws loose, man. How he just keeps on buying guitars. What's wrong with him?
And now he's into these bad cats. Like,
yeah.
I'm just kidding, but
No, all good. What's news with you, Wayne? You've been doing any playing? Got any new guitars, or you? Someone requested you play Freebird as well, I think, on the chat here, mate.
Oh God! Actually, I just am processing right now my sound samples, the Soundgear Music.
Sorry, Wayne. We'll come back to this.
Solo Music Gear JBK1 bass guitar kit I got about 4 days ago.
Yeah, cool, nice.
I finished it up and I posted it. And other than, like I said, a short ground wire, it's actually turned into a pretty nice bass. My own little personalized headstock.
Oh, yeah, cool, man. Yeah, it looks
and
good.
It comes
nice.
all natural. It's basswood body. This thing weighs as much as my old Agile AL 3010 did.
Yeah, okay.
Which is like 10, 12 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
So I just did it with a golden wheat wood dye stain stuff and then sanded it back. And amazingly, this neck has some really nice graining and figure in it.
Nice.
Birds.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, exactly. And this cost me from, as I said the name there before, 177 Canadian free shipping.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm really surprised, and amazingly enough, I got rid of an Ibanez Soundgear SGR 200 or something like that.
Yeah,
which had both the split bass pickup in the neck and the regular jazz bass in the bridge or whatever. And for some reason, I found it didn't sound right, and I don't know if it was because it had actives or something or age, but just putting this one together, and as much as it's low quality stuff and everything else, it has a better sound.
Yeah. Well,
than an actual manufactured bass from 2005, which is scary. Yeah.
Same with my homemade pedal, man. This thing sounds better than the majority of pedals, I reckon. It's insane. So we'll go over to Wayne here. So sorry, Wayne. How's things? What's new and what's been happening?
Well, what I did today is it marks the 1 year anniversary of my friend loaning me his
man. You still got it, huh?
Les Paul Jr.
Yeah.
And I recorded a little jam this morning using it the usual, Is this coming through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the feel, man. Oh. Yeah.
One more, that's it.
Play it, Wayne. Play it, baby.
That's awesome.
Play it.
Nice.
Man, you're still one of my favorite guitar players on YouTube. I tell you, the first time I heard you play that, I was like, "Oh my god, this guy is a freaking great player!" Like, good combination.
Well, I posted
Yeah.
I recorded something today, and I just posted it also today. It doesn't have video though, because my regular webcam, I think my laptop is just too weak. It doesn't work. So I just
Yeah.
recorded the audio and put a photo on it.
Cool. I'll check
But
it out, man. I'll check it out.
I
Cool.
just the Les Paul Jr. with that P90. I just love that sound.
Yeah. It you make it sing, man. That's the yeah. I remember you were saying you hadn't played one for a long time or ever, and you said, "Oh, I'm a little rusty," and I heard it. I just went, "Mate, wow." I can never get mine to sound like that.
I think the last time I played one was when I owned one, which was probably 1976.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in 1976, the one I had was a 57 TV colored one.
Yeah.
The off-white or green or whatever to call it. But, you know, I was young. I let it get away.
I'll share your channel on the chat here. So if they want to see more of you play, they can check it out. I'll post it down in the
Thanks.
in the chat there. Yeah, cool stuff. Awesome. No, mate, it's absolutely singing. Absolutely singing. You've got a really not only is your like execution extremely tidy, it feels great to listen to, and that's some guys can chop really quick, but they don't capture the that actual feel thing. You got
I'm not fast. I'm not fast. I used to be faster, but
yeah, well, it's like a lot of guys can't even play as quick as you. Like I can't play that fast. And I'm not saying you're playing like just blitzing up and down. That's not what I meant. I meant your execution at that particular speed is fantastic. So,
well, I think I get a lot more of the speed in my accents because I use my fingers mostly.
Oh, okay, cool.
So there's always another finger and another note or string coming up behind it.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm a really great picker, but I'm more of a picker plucker.
Yeah, and he's also a great singer, folks. So yeah, you got the smart ass combination of both.
How
I've
dare
subbed.
Sorry,
I said I subbed.
Cool. Yeah, check out his playing. It's definitely worth having a listen. The original demo of that Les Paul Jr. that he posted. It's one of my favorite clips. It got a lot of views too. I think I shared it on Facebook or something, and yeah, people were enjoying it. So if you are watching the live stream, folks, don't forget, please give it a thumbs up if you haven't already. Appreciate that. And keep the live streams coming that way. We've got some folks from Brazil. I think if anyone has any more questions, feel free to let us know. I've scrolled down to the end of the chat now, so I'm now looking at the most current questions instead of halfway up the page. So I've just been asked by Lennart Guitar. Hi Shane, do you have a guitar equivalent of the PV amp, like a relatively unknown cheap guitar that turned out to be a huge bang for buck? Just wondering. PV make electric guitars, and they're made in the US. It's not like a PV fanboy thing, or because I'm not, but they make a series of guitars like Tallies and Strats. I can't remember their exact name, but they're an absolute bargain. You can pick them up for about $249 US.
I think they're called Raptor.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen that name. I had no idea who they were.
Yeah, one of my friends had the Strat, and we were at a guitar center, and he let me stay at his house for like 2 months. So, before I left, I bought him the Telecaster one, and it was great. Like, tell me you can find a US guitar for that price anywhere. The only other guitars I can think of that are really good value, if you can pick them up secondhand. I mean, the Squier stuff's really good, but also check out the Reverend guitars. I don't think they get anywhere near enough sort of, I don't know if promo is the word I'm looking for, or maybe not enough people know them. They're not that expensive secondhand normally. And Reverend guitars are pretty unique, and they play extremely well. I think they used to be made in the States. Maybe some still are, but I think they're made in Korea now. And they're really, really good. I'll bring up some photos, show some folks those as well.
Just to clarify the PV thing, there's the Raptor and the Predator. I believe the Raptor is a Tully style. The Predator is the Strat style.
There we go. Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah. Now that rings some bells. I knew that Predator was what I think maybe I bought in the Strat. I bought one. I couldn't remember exactly which one. I think it might have been the Tally, but yeah. So I'll show folks these Reverend guitars here.
Yeah, I mentioned, I think, Reverend to you before because of the making lefties or lefty models available in the righties. Okay, Kevin Oldman clarified in the chat. He said they're both Strat style. That reminds me, I was looking at the one major guitar retailer up here, and apparently Epiphone has released a Les Paul, what is it? Les Paul RP or something like that. But it's basically, it's like it's a Les Paul Studio RP, and it's basically like the Studio. It's set with 2 single coil pickups instead of 2 humbuckers or 2 P90s.
It's different for them.
Yeah, like I didn't hear of anything coming out from Epiphone at NAMM, and here they are selling them, and they're like really, really cheap. They're like, I think they're about 200 Canadian.
Wow, it's a good price.
Yeah, and it's kind of got that Solnadex kind of vibe to it.
Hey, Tara, I was telling Shane earlier today that I've changed one of my outdoor temperature settings to Celsius so we could all speak in the same language there. It's currently 0.
It's currently cold.
Currently 0 with very light snow. Not accumulated.
It's been
Is everyone still on this call? I only
Yeah.
see you 2 guys with me.
What happened to Shane?
Yeah, I think we're on our own call now.
Left group call.
Shane's got to be around someplace. He's running this outfit.
Yeah,
Ghost
well, I think we're on
to the blues.
we're on our own hangout now.
We're like a ship without a rudder.
Oh, okay. Well, you see, we just took over Shane's channel, maybe.
There it is.
My power went off.
You can turn it into Ed and what's his name's Excellent Adventure. Ted and Ed's Excellent Adventure. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, it just seems to be us now.
So Wayne, you say this fella lent you this guitar a year ago?
Yes, he's I've known him for over 25 years now. We were in a band together. He was the drummer, and he still lives close by. And we lost touch for probably over 20 years, 15 years maybe. And we reconnected with Facebook. And, he started stopping over, coming to visit me. And he asked me if I wanted to borrow. He's a drummer, but he doesn't really play the guitar, but he buys some guitars sometimes. And he had this Les Paul Jr., and he asked me if I wanted to check it out. So I said, yeah, sure. And I put some new strings on it, and I've had it ever since. It's been, the reason I did this actually today was I was looking at my videos, and I saw the original video that Shane was talking about. And it was 1 year ago. It was February 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So it reminded me. So I took out the guitar, and I just found a backing track on YouTube, and I played along with it. And, I just love this guitar.
It's got a killer sound. It's got a killer sound, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's-
it seems like if you can live with the necks on them, or if you get one that it has a neck that's not sort of strange on them, they're great guitars. My own personal experience.
the only thing I had,
is that the neck
because
killer.
I've just been playing Fender like forever, and years and years ago I had Les Pauls and Firebirds and
Yeah,
other Gibsons, but I just had to get used to just smaller spacing, but
yeah.
and just to get different sounds from one pickup.
What are you playing it into?
Excuse me.
What are you playing it into?
Oh, the Mustang One.
Okay.
Fender Mustang.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
And then sometimes I use a pick and my fingers.
You got a
Yeah.
good one there, Wayne. The one that I had made me do nothing but say bad words.
Well, the one thing though, I think Shane mentioned this one time with the Gibsons. Still is a little odd deal with the G string and getting it right in tune for chords.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never have that problem with my Tele or my Strat.
Yeah.
And I hadn't played Gibsons in like, oh my God, probably like 17, 20 years. So I forgot all about it. And as soon as I got this, I said, oh, man,
Yep.
there's that G string again. It's a little sharp, a little flat.
yeah.